top 4 worst, horriblest things about being OTR. Number 1, you're gonna miss your family. You know what I'm saying? Now, even if you're a loner like me, I like cooling by myself, but for the most part, you still need human interaction. So with going OTR, one of the worst things about it is you're gonna be alone by yourself all the time. So you better have a good mental, your mental health better be top tier going OTR. That's one of the worst things ever is that you're gonna be alone 95% of the time of the day. Most people you're gonna interact with is when you go into the fuel station and say, let me get diesel on pump 12. Or let me get a sandwich from one of the restaurants that's on the inside. Top 2, the second top worst thing that's gonna break you down with OTR, but you can make it through is not being able to shower when you like. Like me, I like to take 2 showers a day, but sometimes you might get somewhere where you might have to park on the side of the road tonight because all the truck stops filled, things of that nature. So you might not be able to wash your ass the way you like. That's one of the worst things ever with trucking OTR. The third thing, which could be horrible, is not finding, that piggybacks off the second one, which is not finding a good place to park. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's the trucking. I'm gonna tell you something. One thing I learned, the best thing to do OTR is to get up early in the morning and start driving. 2-3 o'clock in the morning, start driving. So that way, by the time you're finished driving, it's like 5-6 o'clock. You got plenty of truck stops, truck spaces, parking spaces for you to go to. It'll be a lot easier for you versus somebody getting up at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning to drive, and if you're not shutting down at 8, 9 o'clock at night, all the truck stops are completely filled. So that's one of the worst things ever. Before you come out here and go OTR, is knowing that you may have to park on the side of the road. You may not have nowhere to park tonight. One of the 4th worst things ever being OTR is dealing with shippers and receivers. Dealing with the people who you interact with in the trucking industry. A lot of times you got to remember, a lot of people OTR are aggravated, they're frustrated, they're stressed. You're a shipper, you're dealing with your shipper, you're dealing with a receiver. You never know what has been going on with that shipper in his home life, let alone in his daily work life, or that receiver. So a lot of times you might get yelled at, you might get cursed out, you might get mistreated, but at the end of the day, just know that as long as you stick it out, man, at the end of the day, once you get that experience, you can come local, hazmat, fuel tanker, whatever, and it gets better, so just don't quit on yourself. So those are the top 4 worst things that I think you better know before you get OTR. Hey, listen, remember what I told y'all, man, the best way to arrive is what? Alive.